Hey you guys, and what is up? Today I wanted to come on here and just chat with you all. I have my tea here. This is just a lemon tea with some honey and a splash of milk because you guys, I feel like I've been sick and congested for like the longest. I finally got, I shouldn't say finally, but I ended up getting like worst over the weekend. And I guess before I go into that, my name is Annabelle, the Curvy Planner. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing and sticking around to the end of the video. This is just going to be a fun little chat with me, and yeah, hope you enjoy. But anyways, so I've been sick on and off for the longest, and I don't know if anything has to do with like my defenses going down or me just like being continuously sick because I did catch COVID like a couple of times. And I have rheumatoid arthritis and I take an infusion for that. So maybe it's in combination, something to do with it. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, I got sick. And I was already like congested. I didn't have a cough or anything. I didn't have COVID. I did test, but you know, just to be safe. But I last weekend I went to Austin to go to Daiso and Kunio bookstore up there, and it Austin is always really high in cedar. Now I did check allergies up there and it didn't seem like it was high, so we seemed like we were good that weekend. But then when we got back to San Antonio, I was still like congested, pretty sick all week. And then on Saturday we went to run errands because we were having our families come over, like my Matthew's parents, Matthew's my husband, Matthew's parents and sister, and my parents come over for the Super Bowl. So we wanted to go run errands, make sure that we had everything, and it was really, really windy on that day, like extremely windy. And I remember telling Matthew, like, oh, hopefully that clears everything that's been up in the air. And he's like, yeah, that should clear it up. That should be good. Like, especially since we've been having allergies here in San Antonio. And so, I was like, perfect. And I was good Saturday. And then Saturday night, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I could barely breathe. I was barely holding on. Sunday, I was extremely sick. I had to miss work on Monday because I could not even talk. Like, it was just so bad. And yesterday, I finally called the doctor. So I was like, you know, if I have to miss work, I'm going to have to call the doctor. So I called Doctors on Demand. I told them what was going on. I called them originally, but they only gave me steroids, and that didn't even help at all, which was really weird. But I ended up having to call them again on Monday. She gave me some antibiotics, told me to change up my allergy medication, and to take Benadryl at night, and also to take, what is it called? I forgot what it's called, but it's like a anti-congestion, like it's supposed to help with all the sinus symptoms. So I've been taking that every 4 hours, and that seems to be helping a little bit, because if not, my nose would be like running. But we're a little bit better, and I wanted to just come on here and hang out with you all. I got two new planners, and I'm pretty sure I already shared this one, which is the Hobonichi Cousin, and I just got this one, which is the Hobonichi Weeks. So this is something that I wanted even before the Hobonichi Cousin, but this was like sold out, and Matthew, my husband, surprised me with it. Hold on, I gotta take a sip. Hopefully I can remember to edit this out. So good. But it was sold out for the longest, and for a second there I was about to settle and get a different color, but I ended up saying like, no, like I feel like the color is just gonna mean a lot to me, and I don't want to get something that I'm just not in love with. So we ended up canceling the order, because if I remember correctly, it was like a bright blue color. Like, I have these sticky notes, kind of like this color, like a really, really bright blue. So we ended up canceling it, and I didn't know that Matthew ordered this until I think it was Saturday. I think it was Saturday. Because I kept like bugging him and telling him like, what are you going to buy me for Valentine's Day? Just like as a joke. Because I don't really care about gifts and stuff like that. I'm not a person that like stuff like Valentine's Day or gifts for like Christmas or stuff like that are important to me. I just care more about like spending time together. But he told me, he's like, okay, well, you know what? I'll go ahead and tell you, because I kept stalking this. And I told him, I was like, oh my gosh, Matthew, they have the black one on stock. I'm going to go ahead and order it. And he was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and tell you. He's like, I ordered you the Hobonichi Weeks, and it's supposed to arrive on Sunday. And I was like, what? So I was so excited. It arrived on Sunday, literally while we were watching the Super Bowl, and he let me open it right after the Super Bowl. The Rams won. My husband's really, really happy about that. And I already had the cover because I already had planned on buying one. But anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, because I know y'all see me using like other planners that are not Happy Planner, and I wanted to address some things because there's been some comments that have been made to me, some messages here and there that I don't really care about, and not that it makes me upset or anything, but it's just comments of saying like, what happened to your Happy Planners? Aren't you supposed to be using Happy Planner only right now? You're on Squad, and just stuff that just really makes no sense, because there was a conversation, and this was brought up prior to the new Squad announcement, which is my Squad term, that we shouldn't have to be kept from using other brands while on Squad. And my phone keeps ringing, and I apologize about that, but that we shouldn't be kept from being able to use other brands while being on Squad, because that's not it's like being held up to like being brand loyal, and I'm loyal to the brand, of course, but that shouldn't keep me from buying this planner and using it and sharing it if it's working for me. I still use my catch-all and my happy notes. This is something that I've been using a lot lately, and I don't think people should be commenting on whether, why, or whatever it is that I'm using for fun, you know, for my life, or because it works for me. And that's just one thing that I wanted to talk about, because it's not nice and it's not fair. I'm a creator and I'm a creative, and I'm also like, at this point, I guess you can call me like a micro social media influencer. So trying out different products and testing them out and seeing if they work for me and sharing how I use them is kind of what I like doing. And if I use it for 2-3 months and then find out it doesn't work for me and I jump into something else, so be it. You know, it's just kind of how it is. And I've always encouraged everyone and anyone to do the same thing, to use what makes you happy, to use a happy notes or a journal in whatever brand or cost, or it doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be fancy. Just use whatever works for you, for your life and your needs. That's the most important thing of all. So I guess that's just what I wanted to come on here and talk about. But now that we've talked about that, because now I can actually say that I'm using this right now. I just got it on Sunday, so I went ahead and filled out this the first week of, not the first week, but the week of Valentine's Day. And I guess I wanted to clear that up because I was a little anxious to then bring it up and share it without clarifying that I can use whatever I want as far as like my planners. Trying or thinking about like going back and writing in it like my plans that I had in my Happy Planner, just to fill it up, because I like the way it looks filled up. And look, I did also the monthly layout, so it looks really good. It's very simple and to the point, but I basically color coded it into like different things that I have going on. I'm very surprised that I was able to fit as much as I have been able to fit in this planner, because it is tiny. It is really, really small. But I categorized it into like paydays, which is green, personal, yellow, Instagram, purple, and YouTube, red. But it just makes me really excited, because this is something that I can literally just throw in my purse, and it's tiny. So this reminds me a lot of like, kind of like a little bit, I would say about the size of a skinny mini, but a little bit wider, just by a bit. So that's just, I like it so much. And my first ever, I believe my first ever YouTube video on here, as a matter of fact, I believe it's a skinny mini, and that was one of the videos that one of the sizes that I was obsessed with. So I haven't found a skinny mini that I love, so I wanted just something, you know. I kept this, which is the the Hobonichi cousin, and I used it very similar to how I use my Happy Planner catch-all, but it was hard to keep up with because it is so big, and I don't want something that becomes a task or becomes a chore for me to keep up with. So I may continue using it, may not, I don't know. But either way, I know that I have a planner that if I wanted to redate, I easily could. And I love it. It's really, really cute. This is, I think, by far my favorite right now because it's like so small. Matthew actually said, he's like, it reminds you of like an address book, like back in the day. So that, I actually do agree with that. And then of course I'm still using my Happy Planner. Mainly what I have in here is like, for example, I do a lot of social media planning in here. So that is what I have in here. I also have my catch-all. I'll show you all this week, for example. This is my catch-all that I use, very, very similar to how I use the Hobonichi cousin. But the same thing, you know why I was very like needing something else that I could like take on the go? The discs are so bulky, and you know, I get it, and that's why I love the Happy Planner, because of the disc system, because it's so easy to customize. But at the same time, when it's like on the go, like I wanted something I can just like throw in my bag and not worry about, and that's how I feel about this. So, because even when I tried taking the Hobonichi cousin with me, it was just a little too heavy and a little too bulky. So I felt like I still needed a little smaller. So this is amazing right now. So we'll see how it works out for me. This is my first week trying it out. But either way, I love my Happy Planner. I absolutely love it. And the thing that I've also been using lately is just, honestly, and I think I can show you all this. Yeah. Okay, I'm making sure that like I don't have anything, because I use this for work too, making sure there's nothing confidential in here. But this is the Happy Notes that I got from the Happy Planner on the Be Happy box, from the Stargazer Be Happy box. And I'll just write like little notes throughout the day. And I like it because I can easily run downstairs with it, or you know, if I have something to do with like the shop. For example, last week I had to package a couple orders, and I wrote down some of the information that I needed, and it wasn't as bulky as like running around with my Happy Planner. And like I need this to be upstairs majority of the time, so it was like I don't have to worry about having it downstairs and then going upstairs and remembering like, oh, I forgot my planner downstairs, you know? So this is more of like, this is what I'm keeping on my desk at all times, except for right now because I was going to show you all, but that's kind of what I'm doing with that. This I'm carrying with me as needed. And then these two I'm just trying out. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I love this. I just love how like cute it can be, how decorative it can get, and you know, I just love it. But the one thing that I say I am not fond of, and that can be an unpopular opinion for sure, but I'm not loving the daily pages in the back. This is just one section that I actually wrote in, but I'm just not loving it. I'm not a daily planner. I'll admit that. I'm not. Maybe I could be, but it's just not how I function. My job, and I've talked about this in the past, my job is very structured. Give me a second. I need to take a sip of my tea. But my job is very structured. It actually organizes my day for me, and it it creates a schedule and it tells me from 8 a.m. to this time you're gonna do this thing, and your lunch is gonna be at 12:30, and your break is here. So it gives me a schedule to follow. Sometimes it does change, but depending on what's going on and business needs and everything, but it's 100% that I'm gonna have a lunch at this time, and it's gonna be from this time to this time. I have to be glued to my computer, and there's times where if I'm processing claims, it gets a little harder for me to stay focused, but that's where my journal has been coming in place. I don't want to write a lot of work stuff that I could possibly write in a daily page because it is very confidential, so I need it to like be able to remove it and trash it as soon as I'm done with it. And I can't do that in my Hobonichi, or and I can't do that in my catch-all. That's like my happy planner. So that's where that journal comes in place and why I can't be a daily planner. But this right here, I've been obsessed with it. Honestly, you know what it is and why I've been so obsessed with it is because I feel like I can write quick to-dos on the weekly section, and it doesn't get messy. It's just, and even if it does get messy, it's like, what does it matter, you know? So I think that's what I'm gonna do with this, is just make it like my quick like note-taking section where I can be messy in, you know? But anyways, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I received some happy mail this weekend, and it just made me so happy. One of the things that I received in there were these mile liners, like a complete pack of mile liners, and I am so, so grateful for this person. She blessed me beyond measure. It just makes me so happy. I was actually about to buy a pack of mile liners, and then this came in the mail, and I was literally crying. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go because my voice is struggling by talking for almost 20 minutes straight. But I hope you enjoyed this. I know it was like a very different video, but you know, sometimes you gotta do those things, just get real and honest. And that's what I always try to do, is just be as honest as I can on my YouTube channel and just talk about everything and anything. I've talked about mental health. I've talked about my weight struggles. I've talked about my changes with my planners. I've talked about mainly, like, literally everything. So if you have any video ideas, apparently I can't talk, video ideas, please let me know. I'm going to be going to Go Wild very soon, and there's like some planning that I want to do with that, so I definitely will share some of that. But apart from that, I'm kind of like running out of ideas. I want to do more like sit down and talk to y'all and get to know y'all better and talk, and do a little bit less plan with me since I don't use a lot of like different planners. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to watch more of my videos, please subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.